hi there, and welcome to the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. I am Caleb Jones, and this is Alpha Male 2.0, where we talk about masculine long-term freedom, long-term happiness for men, dating multiple attractive women at the same time, location-independent income, and living a more free life. And really quick, I have another podcast called Sovereign CEO, where we discuss 5 flags, location-dependent income, location-dependent businesses, residencies, passports, and things like that. If you want to subscribe to that podcast as well, I do that once a week in addition to this podcast. You can go to calebjones.com. That's CALEBJONES.com. Click podcasts, and you can subscribe over there. Several of you lately, and sporadically over the years, you've all asked for this, wanted to hear about some of my more crazy, interesting stories from my dating experiences of dating multiple women and being non-monogamous over the past 15 years. So in this podcast, I will tell you a few of these stories. These are all 100% accurate based on my memory and my spreadsheets. I actually looked up my spreadsheets. If you didn't know, I've tracked my entire woman life in great detail since 2008. So I have lots of empirical data in terms of my results and my experiences over the course of my dating career. And I went back and verified my memories with these spreadsheets. And if they didn't match, I used the spreadsheet as the guide. So I will tell you a few of these stories. They were all true. I'm not going to mention any names. And also, all of these stories I'm about to tell you are more than 10 years old. And the reason for that is that way I can be more assured that the people involved will not be embarrassed. In case there are women who were possibly involved in these stories who may end up watching this video or listening to this podcast. It was 10 years ago, so you shouldn't care. I try to keep these stories, when I get into real specifics like this, I try to keep these examples from a long time ago because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I don't want to embarrass anybody. You know, sometimes women have boyfriends and stuff like that. So I try to keep these things the download in terms of my current dating life and my recent dating life. So all these stories I'm about to relay to you are more than 10 years old. I've been living this lifestyle now for 15 years. And these were back in my more crazy phase where I was doing more crazy shit. Although it's not like I'm not doing crazy shit today. It's just more subdued crazy shit, I should say. But anyway, this was at a phase of my life where I was dating a lot more women than I am now, a lot more new women, certainly. And younger women my age, older women. I mean, I was playing the gamut back then. So I'll start with one of my favorite stories. And again, this is a very long time ago. This is 13, 14 years ago. This is a long time ago, okay? I was in my house with 2 18-year-olds. Okay, I'm starting off with a bang right there. Okay, 2 18-year-olds, they were friends. And one I was dating and one was new. So one was kind of like an MLTR, although back then I didn't have that terminology nailed down quite well yet. So one was kind of an MLTR and one was kind of an FB, but she was new. And what's interesting is I actually liked the FB more. The new girl I liked more than the current girl. Kind of funny. But anyway, this is a long time ago. They were 18 and I was at my house when I lived in Portland, Oregon. And they were spending the night. And so I had just got done playing, I think, if I remember right, like this is where my memory gets a little hazy. I think I had just gotten done playing with the FB and she slept out on the couch and the MLTR woman that I was actually dating slept with me in my bed. So I went to bed next to the MLTR 18-year-old. And I remember, actually before I went to bed, I remember she was in bed and I sat down on the bed to talk to her for a few minutes. And I had this weird feeling in my lower back. This like weird, like pain. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? And I kind of went like this, like, what the hell? And of course, as I often got back then, I got a bunch of older man jokes. Oh, you're so fucking old. Now, I was like 38 at the time, okay? But again, when you're 18, dating a 38-year-old man, I was 37 or 38, something like that. Dating a guy in his late 30s when you're 18 is like ancient, especially 10 plus years ago when younger women dating older men was not nearly as common as it is today. It was a very different experience, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, to be a much older man dating much younger women. Today, with sugar daddy game and the collapse of the economies around the world, and lots of other factors, the liberalizing of younger women, OnlyFans, all these other things, now it is much more common for much older men to date much younger women, and it'll become more and more common as time goes on. But back then, back in the good old days before the collapse really started going, it was much less common. And older men like me who wanted to date much younger women had to work much harder. So anyway, she gave me a bunch of jokes about me being old. Oh, you're old and you fuck these little girls, you throw out your back because you're such an old man, that kind of crap. I'm like, really funny. So we go to bed, go to sleep, and I'm laying there, I'm nice and cozy. And then, about 10 minutes later, I'm still in bed and this pain in my back is still there. I'm like, God damn, what the hell is this? It's not going away. Usually this kind of stuff just goes away, or you can sit in a certain position where it doesn't hurt, right? And it still's there. And I'm like, this is weird. And then 5 minutes later, it feels like it's getting worse. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And I wait another 5 minutes and it's getting worse. And I'm like, God damn, what the fuck? I've never felt a pain like this before. And so, and I haven't since. And so I get out of bed. I'm like, I need to go take an aspirin or a Tylenol or something, middle of the night. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning, by the way, because I was up late with these chicks. And she kind of wakes up and goes, what's wrong? I said, nothing, go back to sleep. I got to get some aspirin. So I go in the kitchen and I look through my cabinets. And as I've mentioned before, I don't have health problems. So I have no medicine. I don't have medicine in my kitchen or in my bathroom. I just don't. I never have any health problems. I know most people have tons of medicine all over the place. I don't. And so I look through my stuff. I'm like, I don't have anything because I never had any problems. So I'm sitting there in my kitchen and this thing is getting worse and worse and worse. I'm like, God damn it. So I throw on my sweats. I get in my car at 3 o'clock in the morning. I drive down to the local convenience store, the 7-Eleven. We have those in the United States. And I walk in and I look for some Tylenol. And as I'm walking into the 7-Eleven at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Interesting characters at a 7-Eleven at 3 o'clock in the morning, by the way. My hand is now pressing against the back of my back. And I'm pressing on it because it's getting worse and worse and worse. And by the time I'm in line with the Tylenol in my hand, I'm like, God damn it. This is really bad. I have no idea what's going on. So I buy the Tylenol and I walk outside, and now it is affecting the way I walk. That's how bad the pain is now. It's getting worse and worse by the minute, literally. And now I'm walking funny, like, son of a bitch. And I get in my car, I'm like, oh, and I can barely get in my car. Start the car, and I pull out of the parking lot, and it's burning. It's like someone is taking a dagger and shoving it in my back and twisting it. I'm like, son of a bitch. I have to go to the hospital. So I drive to the hospital. I still remember this so long ago. I remember being in the middle of the night driving, and on my way, fortunately the hospital is only like 10 minutes away. I live really close to a big hospital. I'm driving to the hospital, maybe a 10 minutes drive, and it gets worse and worse. And by the time I arrive, even a few minutes before I get to the hospital, I am breathing like this. And my body is shaking and I'm contorting my body. I'm pulling against the steering wheel. I can barely steer the car. I'm freaking out. And I'm like, am I dying? I have no context for what's happening. Some of you guys already know what's happening to me. Some of you guys who are older and maybe have gone through this, you know what this problem is. I'll leave it for a secret in case you don't know. But I had no idea what was wrong. I'm like, do I have cancer? Am I having a heart attack? What the fuck is going on? I had no clue. And I'm in the worst pain I've ever felt my entire fucking life. And I mean that literally. This is the worst pain I've ever felt, my physical pain I've ever felt my entire life. And so I barely pull into the parking space and I stagger out of my car. And now I'm walking like, like bow-legged, like that mutant guy in RoboCop when he got splashed with the toxic waste. He's like, "Woo!" I'm walking like that guy. I'm grabbing my back. I'm like, ah! I stagger into the emergency room. And I walk up to the nurses and she goes, can I help you? I'm like, yes, I'm feeling pain in my back and I need drugs. I'm going to fucking die. And she goes, okay, well, fill out this form. I'm like, fill out the form. I can barely write. And it's true. I can barely write. I'm taking the pen and I'm trying to write my name like, I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. And she goes, oh, you probably have a kidney stone. And I mean, I go, kidney stone? Pfft, I'm 38. That's for old men. I literally said this, like, that's for old men. I'm only 38. I'm not old. And she goes, sir, little girls get kidney stones. Teenage girls get kidney stones. It doesn't matter how old you are. What are you, an idiot? Which I was. I had no idea. I'm like, whatever. Just, will you give me some drugs or something and fucking fix this fucking... And so sure enough, they did. They throw me in a wheelchair. They wheel me in. They set me on a bed. They shove something in my arm. They shove some kind of painkiller intravenously. And literally like within 2 minutes, the pain is gone. And I am high as a kite. All right. And as I've talked about, I don't do drugs. I've never done drugs in my entire life. So which means if I take a drug, like at the hospital, because I'm forced to, I'm a total lightweight. This stuff knocks my ass over, even though I'm a big guy. So I'm like, hey, yeah. So I'm like, the nurse comes in. I'm like, how you doing? Yeah, what's up? I go from, I'm going to die to, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm flirting with the nurse even though she's ugly and fat. I don't care because I'm so far gone at this point. So I'm sitting there high. The doctor comes in. They do, I don't know if they do an ultrasound. I forgot what they did. But the doctor comes and goes, yeah, kidney stone. I'm like, cool. That's awesome. He's like, well, you're going to have a kidney stone for a few days. It's going to take a few days to pass, and we'll give you some Percocet or Vicodin or whatever. I think Vicodin. Give you some painkillers, and you'll just have to pass the stone. If there's a problem, you have to come in, and we might have to laser it. But he's giving me this whole spiel, and I can barely hear it because I'm like, I'm fucked up on drugs, right? But at least I'm not feeling any pain anymore. That's good. So after a few minutes, my brain kind of returns to some sort of equilibrium. I'm still a little high, but I can now, think clearly. I guess I get used to the drug or something. Or maybe it's starting to wear off. I don't know. But he says, is there anyone you can call? And I say, why? He goes, you can't drive. I said, why not? I feel fine. He's like, no, Mr. Jones, you can't drive. You'll get in a car accident. You could barely walk. I said, okay, shit. So the two 18-year-olds at my house don't have cars, okay? There's no car there. So then I go through this experiment of, who could you call at 3 o'clock in the morning if you really need help? Who is on that short list of people you could call, right? So, so I call a friend of mine, call him up. It's like 3:30 in the morning. And he answers the phone. He's like, oh. I said, hey, man, can you come down and pick me up from the hospital and just drive me home? I have a kidney stone. I'm on drugs. He's like, oh, really? Oh, that sucks. And then I can hear his wife. He's married, of course. Most of my friends are beta males. They were back then. His wife, I hear his wife go, in the background. I can't hear what she's saying. He's like, oh, shut up. I'm on the phone. And I hear this back and forth. He covers the phone. He's like, I hear this. He's like, this is the typical monogamous marriage. Okay, so that's what I hear. So he gets back on the phone. He's like, hey, man, I'm sorry. Janice won't let me. Okay, beta male. Right. Like, thanks, beta male. Great. I said, all right, thanks. Bye. Click. I hung up. I think I called someone else and I got a similar, I just remember that phone call. I called somebody else and they couldn't, or they were too far away or something. So now I'm like desperate. So I'm like, shit. I guess I'm going to have to call my parents. Fucking hell. Not something that's fun to do when you're 37 years old, but whatever. So I call up my parents and I'm like, I want my dad to answer. Oh, wait. I don't remember the order in which I thought this, but I went, oh, wait a second. I have two 18-year-old teenage girls in my house sleeping in my beds. That's not going to fly well with my parents. So I call up my parents and I'm thinking, please let my dad answer the phone. Not my mom, please dad. Please let it be dad answer the phone because I don't want my mom to worry about how I have a kidney stone at the hospital because my mom will freak out. And thank God my dad answers the phone. Hey, Caleb. And I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor? Could you come down and drive me home? And he's like, sure. And I said, now look, don't tell mom. Okay, don't tell mom. Number one, I don't want to scare mom. Number two, I don't want to explain to mom I got teenage girls at my house. I don't need to hear that horse shit. Okay, I don't want to hear it. So he's like, all right, I won't. Click, hands up. And so, 20 minutes later, my dad walks in, hi, and then my mom walks in right behind him. I'm like, God damn it, Dad. Fucking shit. My mom goes, oh, honey. Oh, she's doing the sign of the cross. Oh, are you okay? Oh, I have a very Catholic Italian family. And so anyway, I'm exaggerating slightly. My mom doesn't sign the cross, but she used to be a nun. Long story. Anyway, my dad, let's see, how does it work? My dad drives his car. My mom drives my car with me sitting in my car going home. And so my dad's following us. So we drive back home. It's only like 10 minutes away. I was pretty close to the hospital. So I pull up to the house, or should I say my mom pulls up to the house, right? And she goes, well, I'll help you in. Because I was still drugged and walking kind of funny and a little spacey. And I said, okay. And I forgot there were two 18-year-old girls sleeping in my house. So then I open the door and then it dawns on me, oh shit, wait a minute, fuck. So I shut the door and I go, actually, no, Mom, I don't need your help. I'm good. I'll just go in. She goes, oh, no, honey, I'll help you. My mom's very sweet like this. Oh, no, I'll help you. You're not feeling well. I said, actually, no, Mom, you don't. Oh, no, yes. Mom, you don't need to. Yes, I do. I want to tuck in my little boy. That's just how she is. So finally, I'm like, Mom, all right. And I'm exhausted at this point. I'm drugged up. I'm not feeling well. The drugs are starting to kick in where I'm not. this is why I don't do drugs. I don't like the feeling of being high. I just hate it. And now I'm starting to feel yucky. And I mean, physically yucky. So I'm not having this shit. So finally I said, Mom, look, I'll level with you here. I have guests over tonight. And I said the word guests. And she knew my lifestyle by then. And she knew what that meant. And she goes, guests? Plural? I'm like, yes. So it would not be appropriate for you to come in. And she's like, well, fine. She gets all huffy and puffy, right? So I'm like, all right, well, but thank you very much. I'm going to thank Dad. Thank you for doing this for me. It was very sweet and blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, okay. Fine. So then I get out, I open the car door again and I step out and I realize in the back recesses of my brain an important fact that I need to figure out. And that was that the next day, the following day, I was going to drive one of the 18-year-old girls to the airport because she was flying out to some city to visit her family or something the next day. And I told her I would drive her out to the airport the following morning. And I'm going to be on these drugs, right? I'm going to be on the drug they already gave me. Plus I'm going to be on, I think it was Vicodin. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'll be able to drive. And I was correct. When I took Vicodin later in the day, the next day, I was so fucked up, I really couldn't drive. I was fucked up for a few days. I'll tell you about this in a minute. So then I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, and again, I'm half thinking, okay, I'm not clear-headed at all. But anyway, I close the door and I say, hey, Mom, can you do me a favor? Okay, stupid. She goes, what? I said, I have to take one of my guests to the airport tomorrow and I won't be able to drive. Could you do me a really big favor? Could you drive me and my two guests to the airport? Me and my two 18-year-old chicks. And she's like, and she said yes. I forget what she said. She was probably taken aback, or it was a long time ago. I don't forget what she said. But she said yes. I said, all right, cool. So I get out. My parents leave. I say thank you, my dad. They go back home. I stumble back into my house, stumble in the garage through the kitchen. One 18-year-old girl, the new girl, is sleeping on the couch. She's fast asleep. Go in, lay in bed, and the other 18-year-old, the one I was actually somewhat dating at the time, it's like, what's wrong? Where were you? Oh my God. And that's how she was, like, oh my God, what the fuck? And so she's one of those girls. And I'm like, just nothing, just go to sleep. I'll tell you tomorrow morning. I'm like, ugh. And I go to sleep, and I'm feeling awful. So wake up the next morning. And I feel terrible. I don't handle drugs well. Like I said, I don't do drugs, so I don't handle them well. So I wake up and I feel awful. I don't feel the pain so much, but the drugs have completely fucked me up. I'm like dizzy. I'm not thinking straight. I'm not feeling good. I'm not thinking clearly. I feel like garbage. It's awful. And I get up, and so the two girls are already up. I don't know why. Maybe they were up before. Yeah, they were up before me. So anyway, they're both up, giggling in the kitchen or whatever, and they're friends. And so I sit them both down, and I'm sitting there. My hair is all fucked up. I'm in my sweats. I look like shit. I feel like shit. And I have to explain what's going on here. I'm like, all right, now look, listen, chicks, listen, darlings. I have a kidney stone. And then here come the old man. Oh my God, you have a kidney stone. You're so old. I'm like, okay, all that shit. Okay. And just to be clear, this was not sugar daddy stuff. These were girls that actually liked me because this was 10 years plus before sugar daddy game was even a thing. So anyway, here come all the older man jokes, especially from the woman that I was dating at the time, because she's a little smart ass. And he's like, oh, you're so old. You have a kidney stone. Oh my God, you're so fucking old. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I'm like, yeah, I'll laugh it up. This is really funny. All right. So anyway, look, so I can't drive. I'm on fucking Vicodin. And again, the girl I was dating was a crazy bitch. So she's like, Vicodin? You got Vicodin? She wants to do some of my Vicodin, of course. Crazy whore. So, and I say that with love. I'm still friends with these two women today. They live in the United States. I'm in Dubai. But anyway, I'm still friends or friendly with all the women I've been with. It's just, I don't have bad breakups. So anyway, she makes some jokes about doing my Vicodin or selling my Vicodin for some extra cash, something like that, right? And so I said, look, I can't drive. So girl B, I'll call her girl A and girl B. Girl A is the girl I'm seeing. Girl B is kind of the new girl who I actually like better than girl A. Anyway, so I said, I got to get girl A to the airport this morning. I can't drive. You fuckers can't drive. You're not driving any of my cars. So, cause I didn't trust him to drive my car because I don't think girl B had a license and girl A was a reckless bitch. So there's no way I'm letting her drive my car. Although later down the road, I found out she had snuck out with my car in the middle of the night and gotten some stuff at 7-Eleven and driven back home while I was asleep. It's the kind of girl she was. Anyway, I said, no, so look, so my mom is coming to pick the three of us up to take us to the airport. And girl B is horrified. She's like a normal girl next door. She's like, oh my God, your mom? Oh my God, that's not awkward. Oh my God, we're 18 and oh my God, and we're both at your house. And then the girl A, little bitch that she is, she's like, your mom's gonna come pick you up? Does your mom know you fuck little girls, daddy? I'm like, all right, now that's exactly the kind of language that we don't want to have around my Christian former nun mother. Okay, so you guys need to be on your best behavior, especially you, girl A. Okay, I don't want to hear this shit in the car with my mom. All right, I don't want to hear this crap. It'll be weird enough. It'll be awkward for you enough to go through. And I got to hear this shit about me dating younger women. And okay, so this is not a fun scenario for any of us. So just keep it cool and keep it relaxed and, whatever. And girl B is just freaking out. She's like, oh my God, oh my God. Like like they're in trouble or something. And girl A is like, yeah, this is fucking hot. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so they go get ready. All right. Hour, 2 or 3 later, I think take a shower or something. I'm still feeling like hell. And so my mom pulls up in front of my house and I tell her to wait and I come out and here come the two 18-year-old girls, all gussied up, walking out with their super short skirts and tight jeans and all that shit with, they both had big tits. So the big tits are hanging out. And my mom is just like, oh my God, what is Caleb doing? This is, after my divorce. I'm a father of 2, This is during my crazy phase, like I said. And so girl A is like, I want to sit in the front next to your mom so we could talk about yo. I'm like, whatever, just get in the car. And the girl B is like, I don't know, I'm so scared. Like, just get in the fucking car. God damn it, I'm not having any of this shit. So girl B and I sit in the back seat. Girl A gets in the front seat with my mom. She's very extroverted. My mom's very extroverted. And they just start talking. Oh, hi, Mrs. Jones. And she's, talking like a high schooler because she pretty much was. She was 18. And we're driving off and, I'm just sitting there just miserable, just like staring out the window like, please let this end, God. Please kill me. And girl B is totally silent. She's terrified. She's just sitting there with her eyes really big, sitting in the back seat, doesn't know what to say or do. She's just sitting there horrified. Girl A is just yucking it up with my mom and making these jokes that are going way over my mom's head because my mom is an innocent little sweetheart, former nun, married my dad when she was out of the nunnery. I mean, hasn't seen a lot of that part of life. And so, and she goes, oh yes, my little boy Caleb is such a good boy, that kind of shit. And girl A is like, oh yeah, he is good. That kind of shit, right? And it goes right over my mom saying, oh yes, he is. And I'm just glaring at girl A like, God damn, you bitch. So without incident, we get to the airport, we drop off girl B. And I don't remember the rest. We somehow got back to my house and then girl B got one of her orbiters. An orbiter is a guy who lusts over a girl, like a platonic, friend zone type guy. She got one of her friend zone guys come pick her up and that was it. And that was really the end of the story. And not the end of the story. A lot more things happened with girl A and girl B, much of which I've described at the Black Dragon blog. You can go look up those old articles if you want. Long story short about my kidney stone, it took me about 5 days, if you're curious. It took me 5 days to pass that fucking thing. And one day, we have to when you have a kidney stone, at least back then you did. I don't know if you have to do it now, but you pee in this cup that has a strainer because they actually want the stone. And so I would always pee in the cup. And then one day, 5 days later, suddenly the pain goes away and I'm whizzing in this little cup. I hear the clink, clinkety clink. I look down and there is a stone. Seriously, there's like a goddamn kidney stone there. And it's big as a big pebble. It's big. And I'm like, wow, that's so crazy. I whizzed out a stone. And true story, not making this up, I brought it to the doctor's office and went into the doctor's office. They put me into the little exam room and the nurse comes in. And I said, I have the kidney stones right here. She goes, okay. She grabbed it and she looks at it like this and she goes, you passed this? I said, yeah. She's like, that is one of the biggest stones I've ever seen someone pass. Seriously, she says this. And I don't have a big dick. I'm very average down there. And I said, just made a joke. I'm like, well, yeah, I have a big cock. What can I say? I don't have a big cock. Okay, just making a joke. And that's it. That's the story. So, true story. Actually happened. There you go. So I'll give you one or two more quicker stories because that story went a little long. So I'll give you some first date stories. Some first date stories. So I went on this date many years. This is many, many years ago. Again, this is over 10 years ago or close to it. And I think this one is over 10 years as well. Met up with this woman. She was about 23, I want to say. Early 20s, 22, 23. Met at a Starbucks near her college campus because she was going to college at the time. She was living in the dorms. And she comes in and she is really pretty. Not my type because she has dark hair. I like blonde women. There have been some women in my past who had dark hair or who I really liked. She had dark hair, very pretty face, not very curvy. I like curvy, but very pretty face. Really pretty. I mean, you walk into a room and guys would definitely check her out. So we're talking. We're getting along great. She's very pleasant and very nice and very polite. And she mentions this thing about, well, that thing I went through last year. Well, after that thing I went through last year, and I went, what'd you go through last year? What happened? And as usual on first dates, I get the women talking. I want them talking. Always have the woman do 80% of the talking on a first date. Very important. And so I made sure she was talking a lot. And she kind of looks at me and she goes, well, and she kind of hesitates. She goes, well, I put these things on my dating profile to not have these awkward conversations. And I'm clueless. I don't know what she's talking about. I was like, okay. What do you mean? And she goes, well, you read my profile, right? Okay, now we have a problem because, and I've talked about this in the past, I don't read online profiles. Rarely do I read profiles because they're useless. They all say the same thing. Sometimes I'll read a little hunk of like the first paragraph or something like that. And in her case, I did. I think I read the first paragraph. So I could tell there was something that she was very uncomfortable about. And if I had lied to her completely and said, no, I didn't read your profile at all, I'm pretty confident I would have hurt her feelings. And when you hear about the end of the story, you will see that I was correct. And I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't like bending the truth. I don't like doing it. I don't do it. But I had read some of it. So I just said, yeah, which is partially true. And I don't like doing that. But in this case, I could tell there was something up and I didn't want to hurt her feelings. And, I'm trying to be nice. Okay. It's kind of like saying when a fat girl says, do I look fat in this dress? You don't say, yeah, you look fat in that dress. You got to be nice. So it's a similar scenario. So I said, well, yeah. And she goes, oh, thank God. And she just calms down immediately. She goes, oh, that's so, okay, good. Oh, and she immediately relaxes. I don't know what's going on. So she says, right after immediately relaxing, she says, so I was born a man. And I went, sure. No idea. I had no idea. So what's the politically correct phrase now? Transgender, okay? And I'm not grossed out or anything. As I've said in the past, I am not a right-wing conservative. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a traditional conservative. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're trans. I don't care. You live your life. I'm an individualist. Do whatever you want. And so instead of being grossed, I was surprised. I was shocked because she looked like a 100% born woman. Her face, the way she moved, the way she talked, her hair, everything about her was screamed female. I had no idea. And so when she said this, I'm like looking at her face, like carefully trying to figure out, does that look like a boy? No. How about her chin? No, it looks like a girl. How about her nose, her eyes, her hands? I'm looking at everything. I'm totally checking out to see if I can identify that she was a boy at one point, and I can't. And so I started asking her a lot of questions. And I found out that she had over $35,000 worth of surgery done to her face alone. And not surprising because they did a goddamn good job. Her face was beautiful. I mean, you would have no idea. I don't care what your they have gaydar, they have transdar. I don't know how good you think you are at this, but you would have had no idea. And certainly I've heard stories of guys going to Thailand with the lady boys and they're shocked. So I get it. I get that now because before this incident, I never understood that thing where guys go to Thailand and she's a hot babe and then she takes off her clothes and she has a dick because she's actually a man. Right. So I never really understood, but now I get it. After meeting this person, I get it, this woman. So we talk a little more, and no, nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to have sex with well, I'll tell you why we didn't have sex. Okay, I'll tell you why. There are several reasons, but here's the big reason. I said, so, and she had boobs. Okay, they weren't big, they were normal. So I asked her, because this is what I do on Face Days. I'm very open about this stuff. I said, so, okay, so you transitioned here, and I point to her face. You transition here, and I point to her chest. What about down there? And I kind of indicate her crotch. And she basically said in so many words, she was pre-op down there, which means she still had a penis. Great. All right. So I was still very nice, very polite. We just kept talking. I was very nice about it. We said our goodbyes. We didn't kiss or anything. This, had no interest. I don't think she had any interest. And I just was going to hope that she didn't text me. That's all, because I'm not going to see her again. That's just not something I can do. But again, no problem with it, but it's not something I'm attracted to. So I didn't text her back, and she never texted me. Usually if a girl really likes you, they text you. If you don't hear from you, depends the woman. And she didn't. So that was it. That was that. So that is, now, I've often had that question, well, Kill, you don't read profiles. What if she's gay, or what if she's transgender, or what? Well, that actually happened once. Now, to be clear, I have been on, the number of first dates I have been on is well into the triple digits, This is the only time I've ever run into a woman who was like a lesbian or a transgender person, or this is the only time. So that's it. So don't think that if you don't read profiles, you're going to have all kinds of problems. We're talking about a fraction of 1% where I ran into that. And it's not like I had a horrible time. I had a perfectly pleasant time with her. She's perfectly fine. I'll give you another really quick first date experience I had. I've mentioned this before in one of my books. I don't remember which one. But this was a woman who, this was a little more recent. This was not quite 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, maybe 10 years. Maybe it was 10 years ago. Maybe it was 10 years ago now. Maybe 8, 9, somewhere in that ballpark. We go to a kind of a dive bar. It's where she wanted to meet. And this is a woman who is a little older than the younger girls. She was, I would say, what was she? 34, 35. And normally, and I hadn't done this yet, normally I draw a line at age 33 because that's the age at which ASD spikes. And so I like to keep these things below age 33, but sometimes I make exceptions because I'm an older guy and I think women in their 30s and 40s are beautiful. As long as they don't get overweight, as long as they don't get fat. So anyway, she was probably 34, 35, somewhere in that zone. And she shows up. She's very pretty. You can tell, and maybe I can identify these things by being on so many first dates I've been on. You get to see certain patterns. There's something about her face that looks tired, like haggard. She didn't look haggard. You could see it in her eyes. There's this worldly weariness to her face. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen a lot of people, maybe you can relate to this. But she's very pretty. She was blonde and short, petite, which is what I like. And she had some curves on her, and I'm happy with this. And we start talking, and she's friendly. There's a little bit of an edge to her, which is fine with me. I don't care. And we're talking, and we start talking about, or I start asking her questions about it, because again, you have to be the one asking the questions on first dates. I start asking about what she does for a living. Okay. And she doesn't want to tell me. She's embarrassed. She's like, well, I don't remember what she said, but she was kind of like dodging the question, like she didn't want to tell me. And I'm thinking immediately, oh, okay, she's a stripper. She's a stripper. And she's embarrassed to tell me she's a stripper because she was pretty like that. She had that kind of look about her. She wasn't dressed slutty. She was dressed perfectly normal. She's a stripper. And I said, well, it's okay. You can tell me. I'm not going to tell anybody. It's no big deal. It's just me. It's fine. I'm pretty good at eliciting information from people, including women on first dates. And she's like, nah. And now I'm starting to think, okay, God, maybe she's a hooker. Maybe she's like a professional escort. Again, this is before sugar daddy game. So you had normal women and you had hookers. There were no sugar babies back then. So I'm starting to think this, like, wow, maybe she's like, a full-on hooker, and she's embarrassed to tell me, or I think she'll think I'll judge her or whatever. So I changed the topic, and we talk about something else, and then eventually I circle back to that topic because I want to know. Now I'm curious, right? And so I press her gently, but I press her like, just tell me. It's all right. It's okay. I'm not going to tell anybody. I said, look, I'm not going to judge. Are you kidding? Do you have any idea who you're talking to? I don't judge anybody. I can't because my lifestyle is weird enough. So I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to make any judgment calls about this. I honestly, I'm not. And that's true. I'm not. If she had said she was a hooker or something, or a stripper, I wouldn't care. I'd have to wear some good condoms on her, but whatever. And so anyway, she finally tells me. And essentially, she was a courier for one of the big Mexican cartels. And so what she would do is she would go to places like weird places like Alaska, sometimes Mexico, sometimes Hawaii, sometimes different states. And she would pick up drugs and bring them back with her on her person through the airports. Very dangerous. And she would be paid thousands and thousands of dollars every time she had to run like this. Sometimes she used a car, but often she used a plane. Sometimes she used boats. And it was really interesting talking to her because she told me all kinds of interesting things of techniques that she used. For example, here's one thing she told me. I don't know if this is true or not. That's what she told me. I said, well, how the hell do you get drugs through the airport? Because this was post 9/11. So the airport security, I'm like, how the hell you do that? How do you do that and not get arrested? She's like, well, little things like, for example, what you do is if you put something in an envelope, okay, and you put a stamp on it, an actual legal stamp, and you have an address and all that stuff, and you just put it in the envelope and that's it. As soon as you put that stamp on it, that becomes federal in terms of the jurisdiction of the post office. So it is now illegal for the TSA to open the envelope. They can't do it. They can't do it. And I'm like, well, can't they x-ray it, stuff like that? I guess they could, but there's ways around that. Oh, there was ways. She would wrap stuff in tin foil, and she had all these techniques. And I'm like, that sounds very dangerous. She goes, it is. It's extremely dangerous. And she started telling me about some other things that I've forgotten now, some other dark things she was involved in. Matter of fact, here's one thing I do remember. She witnessed a murder. She saw a guy get shot in the face, and it kind of fucked her up emotionally. Told me a bunch of stories about that. And later, after she left, we got along great. I'm like, well, she's good looking, and I don't know. I mean, should I go there or not? I don't know. I don't know if I want to hook up with someone who's involved in crime, serious crime, and I didn't. Matter of fact, we texted a little bit, and she actually said, you're a good guy, you're a nice guy, you don't want to get involved with a woman like me. She literally said something like that, and I kind of agreed with her, even though she was very pretty and she was very nice and got along well. So there you go. You meet a lot of interesting people when you go on lots of first dates. I'll tell you one more quick story. I told this story many years ago on the Pickup Artist forums back when I was active on those many years ago. So this is quite a while ago now. This is a good, 12, 13 years ago. There's this woman I was seeing. We went on, I think, 3 dates, I believe. I think we had sex twice. I believe, I don't remember, maybe once. I have to check my spreadsheets. Once or twice, maybe twice. Just like the other woman I was talking about, blonde, short, petite, curvy, exactly my type. Very attractive to me. Not a 9 or a 10 or anything like that, but 7 or 8, depending on your tastes. And exactly the kind of woman I like, just not as super hot as what I'm accustomed to now. But anyway, she would often talk about her ex-boyfriend, or she would just call her ex, and how her ex was a bodybuilder, and he was on steroids, and he was on a bunch of stimulant drugs, and he had these huge, swinging, insane temper problems because he was hopped up on steroids all the time, and he would lash out and beat people up and shit like that, and he had a criminal record, and blah, 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 blah. So one day I go to pick her up at her apartment, and it's one of those apartments. These are not very common in Portland, but they have them. These are these New York style apartments where you have to press a button. And there's an intercom to have them buzz the door, buzz you in. And so I go to the apartment to pick her up at the appropriate time. She did not have a phone. So she would have to use the apartment computer to use Yahoo to text me back and forth, to use that texting app. Somehow you used to be able to do that through Yahoo. I don't know how she did it. So I was kind of picking her up blind. I said, okay, I'll be there at 2 o'clock. And I wasn't able to confirm it. Big mistake on my part, or at least partial mistake on my part. So I go up to the apartment and I press the buzzer, and a guy answers. Hello? I'm like, well, that's interesting. I didn't know she lived with a guy. Matter of fact, I had been over to her apartment briefly. I just remembered this. I had been over inside that apartment. I didn't see any sign of a guy there. Interesting. So a guy, hello? And I said, hi, is so-and-so there? He goes, who's this? And I don't remember if I used my real name. I think I did. I said, this is Caleb, here to pick her up. He's like, And I said, who's this? He goes, this is her husband. All pissed off, very angry sounding now. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I said something like, that's great. I had no idea she was married. She never told me she was married. And you might want to ask her what she does in her free time when you're not around. And I turned around and left. Now, when I told that story on the Pickup Artist forums, a whole bunch of guys got mad at me and said, Caleb, you're violating the secret code. Or you're violating, we used to call that, Pickup Artists used to call it the secret society. You're violating the secret society. You should have just, kept it quiet and let her do it, And I'm like, no. By not telling me she was still married, whether or not she was married, apparently she was going through a divorce. I don't know the details. Because she texted me later saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Blah, blah, and she gave me all this bullshit, excuses. But by not telling me that she's still involved with a violent guy, okay, who is super jealous, dating him or married to him or currently getting divorced, but a guy obviously has a key to her apartment, or she obviously would let him into the apartment. By doing that, she put me at risk. So that's why I was a little pissed off. I'm like, you know what? Not cool. Now, if this was a little nerdy beta male guy who was like, 5'4" wearing glasses and no physical threat to me, then I probably wouldn't care. But according to her, he was a physical threat. So she's putting my health in danger by doing this shit. There you go. That's why I did it. Anyway, that's enough fun for the day, enough stories for the day. If this is an entertaining topic for you guys, I can certainly relate. I have a lot more stories, some of which I can't tell, but many of which I can. And if this is something you want to hear more about, let me know. I can certainly do a follow-up podcast and talk more about these. Cool. All right, I'll see you in the next podcast. Bye.